Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. I was asked to do a DIY on ears, so today I want to show you how I made these fairy godmother ears. I absolutely love how delicate they look, and I hope that you will decide to make your ears as well. If you do, make sure to let me know in the comments below because I would love to check out your designs as well. Okay, let's talk about supplies. First of all, you're going to need glue sticks and a glue gun. You're also going to need a headband. Now, I buy my headbands at Walmart in a 3-pack for $4.99, and these are the Goodies brand. Next up, you're going to need the fabric of your choice. Next up is this adhesive glue. I'm going to use this for the pearls and the rhinestones. And check out this bow I found at Hobby Lobby. It is a pre-made bow for $2.99. You cannot go wrong with this. I'm not using it today, but I did want to show it to you. I picked it up for a project that I'm going to be doing. And then I picked up these party favors to go for the fairy godmother's wand. I just had to cut it down to size just a little bit, but that was an amazing price for so many wands. These little rhinestones and pearls I picked up at Walmart, for 79 cents each. And then I picked up this string of pearls at Hobby Lobby as well as that ribbon, and that pearl is going to go around the outside perimeter of the ear to kind of fill in the gap, which you'll see later. You're also going to need some polyfill to fill in your ears. You're also going to need some cardboard because this is going to be the inside of your ear. Make sure to lay something down on your surface like a paper bag or something so you're not getting hot glue on everything. And then it's time to begin your ears. First of all, I like to use the template of the Minnie Mouse ears from the parks. Of course, there are templates that you can use online, but I like the true to size Minnie Mouse ear, so that is what I use for my template. So I just lay it down and then I trace around it. Then I use the headband that I'm going to be using and I lay it at the bottom so I get that actual curve that's going to match up with the headband that you're using. Once you have all of your ears cut out, you're going to need 2 cardboard pieces per ear, so a total of 4 cardboard cutouts. It's time to start assembling your ears. And I had to iron my fabric because you can see it's still a little bit wrinkly, but if you need to iron it, please go ahead and do that. Now I just go willy-nilly with a marker, no specific order. You just need something bigger than the actual ear itself because you're going to be gluing the fabric over on it. And so I just draw willy-nilly, no rhyme or reason, just to make sure it's bigger than the ear. Once you have those drawn, then it's time to cut out your ears. Next, you're going to take your cardboard and you're going to lay it on the fabric. And let me tell you, you do go through some hot glue making ears, so make sure that you have plenty. So I just put a little bit of hot glue on the edge and then I'm just using my finger to roll that fabric up. So you're basically just kind of tucking it over. And then you just repeat that process all the way around the ear. Once you get to the end, make sure to leave this edge open because this is where you're going to be putting your polyfill. I always like to look at my ears and make sure everything is tucked down properly. If not, if there are places I need to go back and glue to make tighter, then I use this moment to go ahead and do that because you don't want any puckering on the outside, on the finished edge. Okay, this is what your ears should look like when you have it all glued down. And you just repeat that process 3 more times. Once you have all of your ears glued onto the fabric, then it's time to start filling the ears. I like to use little bunches at a time, and sometimes I use my scissors or a crochet hook to stuff the ear so it's like completely evenly dispersed. But you can use your fingers or whatever works best for you. Try not to overstuff it though, or you can pop the glue on the outside, and you don't want your ears to be really uneven. You want the fronts and the backs to look pretty much the same. So just go slow and use a little bit at a time and get a really nice even amount of poly in there. Once you're satisfied with the amount of poly in your ears, it's time to start gluing. Now I just go back through and I get the corners really well if they weren't glued down enough, and then it's time to seal up that edge and make a beautiful ear. If you need to go back and cut some of this extra fabric off, please go ahead and do that because you don't want a ton left in between the ears because you're going to glue this one and another one together. So you don't want a whole lot of stuff holding it apart. It's just going to make a bigger gap, and then it's not going to look as pretty once you glue them together. So just fold this as tight as possible so you have a nice clean curved edge at the bottom. And I like to apply a good amount of pressure there so it's not coming apart. Like I said before, I just go ahead and cut off anything that's extra so it's not sticking out. And I just repeat this step 4 times. Once you have all 4 pieces done, it's time to assemble them together. So to start this process, I just put glue around the outside edge of this ear and across the middle. And glue gun problems. I'm really hard on my glue gun, so it looks pretty ridiculous, so just ignore that. But yeah, I go across the middle, just make an X, and then go around the outside. And then you just take another ear and you sandwich it together. Try to line it up if you need to very quickly to make sure that it's even, because it will set very quick and then you won't be able to change it. Now we just repeat this process again. Glue around the outside and across the middle and sandwich your two ears together. Now to cover up that gap, I have chose this string of pearls, and it's just going to go around the outside edge to fill in this gap, and it's going to look absolutely beautiful. So once again, grab that handy dandy glue gun and then just line a good amount of glue in that gap so the pearls have something to hold on to, and just line it up on the very edge and press down. Be very careful not to stick your finger in the glue because it does not feel good. I'm just going to keep completing this process till I am on the other side. And reload time. I wasn't sure how this would look, but I really think that it looks elegant. And if you didn't want to add the little fairy wand, you could also use these for Cinderella inspired ears. You would just put a white or that silver bow like I had before. You wouldn't add the pink bow that I'm going to add later. I think that this blue with the pearls just looks so pretty. I'm definitely going to make more ears. Now that you have both of them covered in pearls, it's time to assemble them on the headband. If you wanted to use that fabric to cover your headband, you can do that. I just really like the gray one, so I wanted to stick with that. If you guys would like to see a tutorial how to cover one, just let me know. And I, again, pull out my Disney ears for placement, so I know exactly where to lay my ears and where to glue them down. Once I get them exactly where I want them, then I'm just going to grab that glue gun yet again and start adding them to the headband. I do a generous amount, but I also don't go overboard so it's spilling out on the edges. And then I just apply firm pressure. And I repeat that process on the other side. This is where if you bought the pre-made bow, see, look how gorgeous. That reminds me of Cinderella, exactly how that is. But if you bought a pre-made bow, you would just glue that one on and call it a day. But I'm gonna be making this pink bow because we are doing the fairy godmother. And I think I went with about 7 by 12 or 6 by 12 when I cut this out. I just kind of eyeballed that. So you're gonna need one, and then you're gonna need a smaller strip, and that's gonna be the center of your bow. Next, I just added a little hot glue along the edge, the top edge actually. And then we're going to take that and fold that just about halfway. Ouch. And then we're going to press that down. We're going to be gluing again, and then we're going to bring the bottom half up to meet in the middle. Next, we're going to start on the end, and we're going to repeat that same process, but we're going to fold inward. And again, not quite to the middle. Once that is done and all pressed down, then we're going to go to the other side. If you need to trim some off, you can do that. I don't always cut the straightest, so I'm not aiming for perfection, just fun. But go ahead and straighten out any edges if you need to trim any of that off. And then you're going to glue and fold just over the other line. It doesn't take a whole lot really to do this process. You just really want something to bond it together a little bit. And then you just press it down. Now that you have your fabric all glued together, I struggle with this quite a bit actually, so I use the fan method where you just fold the fabric back and forth until you get to the bottom. And once you get it where you want it, I usually have to work with it in a struggle for just a little bit, but once you get it where you want it, then you're going to use your glue gun and you're going to glue in between those creases. Just press firmly until it sticks together. Once you have that secured, you're going to repeat this process on the back side and hold it. It's like little extra insurance until you get your center all glued together. Now that your bow is made, you're going to move on to the ribbon for the centerpiece. And I repeat that same process. I just put a little glue all the way down and I fold it over. And repeat that process, folding your bottom part up to the middle. And like I said, it does get hot. So now that you have your middle, place a little bit of glue on the bottom of your bow and lay the very end of your bow. I always like to leave just a little edge, and I cut it off later, and then you just wrap it around your bow twice. You can wrap it once if you'd like, but I just like the extra security of wrapping it twice. I pull it a little bit tight. And then you're just gonna secure the bottom part to the bow and press firmly. I use this time while it's drying to flip up my bow. And then I trim off the extra piece of that trim. Again, these are the party wands that I got. You might be able to get these at Target or find them online, but they are rather long, and I just decided to use the scissors and cut them down so they weren't sticking out a long ways. And I think it's actually really adorable, but I did not like that it had a broken edge on the bottom, so I decided to take one of these little pearls and hot glue one to the bottom just to finish it off, and so there were no sharp edges. Working with these little tiny pearls, oh my goodness, they are so little and it's such tedious work, but I thought it would just finish off the edge really cute, and I just pressed that down with a little glue, and it added a little extra magic to the bottom. After I finished with that, I kind of laid it out to see where I wanted it to be placed and how far I wanted it to stick up, and so I found the place that I wanted it, and I just stuck a little glue to the back. I didn't use a whole lot because I didn't want it to come out the edges, and I'm also going to cover this with an iridescent ribbon so it will have some extra security, so you don't really need a ton on there. I also think that I found this iridescent ribbon at Hobby Lobby along with those pearls. I thought it was really pretty, and it just reminded me of Cinderella, and I don't know, it was just so pretty I had to pick it up. I thought it was the perfect ribbon to put across this wand. So I'm just repeating that same process that I did with the middle of the bow to begin with, and I'm just using it this time to cover the wand. Use your hot glue again to secure it in place. Now that you have your bow completed, it's time to figure out where you want your bow to sit on your headband. And I like mine to sit a little bit forward. So I just kind of eyeball where I want that to sit in the middle, and then I put a very generous amount of hot glue. Very generous. With the weight of the wand on there, I just wanted to make sure I had enough and it wouldn't be tipping forward or backwards. Once you have it glued down, just keep pressing in the center of that bow and make sure that you are keeping it leaned forward so you're not pressing it backwards. Just keep applying pressure for about 30 seconds and it should hold nicely. If there's a little gap in the back, I do like to add just a touch more glue, just for added security. And then to keep the bow in place, a lot of times I like to add some glue to the back side of the bow at the bottom, right over the ears. So I just lift up the corner and I put a small amount of glue underneath and press it down. You really don't need a lot here, it's just basically to keep it from moving. And I just apply that on the next side as well. And aside from that wand, if you're not adding any other embellishments to your ears, you can stop here and admire the ears that you have made. But since I am making the fairy godmother ears, I did add the wand and I'm going to be adding some of the pearl and rhinestone embellishments. But if not, just admire what you've made and your ears are good to go. So here I used that glue to start putting random spots down to put the pearls, and then I moved on to the rhinestones. I did do both sides of the ears, but only on the front. I thought it would be a really good idea to leave the back side for something special, which I'll talk about in just a minute. But I did complete that process on both sides of the ears. I will say this glue was absolutely garbage because I had to go back and use the hot glue gun later. Some of the stuff started falling off, so I do not recommend this glue. I did get it at Dollar Tree and it's the first time the Dollar Tree has failed me, but I would not suggest this glue. And here's the finished project of the front. I am absolutely in love with the way that it turned out. And for the back side, I thought it would be beautiful to get the fairy godmother's signature, fairy on one side, godmother on the other, and then you would have a complete set of ears that are personalized specifically for you. I really didn't like the way the back of this was finished off, so I went back in and I added more pearls because you can't have enough pearls, and I just kind of covered up and cleaned up where you could see a little bit of that hot glue, and I just thought it finished off the back a little bit better and a little bit cleaner. Making these ears usually take me about an hour. Here's the top view as well as the back again with these added pearls. I'm really impressed. I love them so much. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. If you would like me to do more of these, just let me know. And I thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!